Guys, welcome back to the channel. First video in the new location here. We are working on this guy's truck. We have a leaking front timing case. Now that is the thing that bolts to the block, so we're gonna have to pull the cam out. Check it out. Welcome to the channel, David.
Here we are.
What are we doing now?
We are getting ready to put a timing cover gasket on a 4th gen.
What do you have to say about this 4th gen?
I hate it already.
Dude, I take 10 minutes away and you already got the coolant drain. Look at you go. Okay, so on this truck here, with the way the 4th gens are and where the cam's at and everything, we're gonna go ahead and pull this front end apart. Now, the only thing I'm not sure on is this core support. If this, this center support here, if that ends up being an issue, what I'm gonna have David and I do, we're gonna just jack up the engine, just loosen the motor mounts and the trans mount, jack the engine up and try to get it past there. If that still doesn't allow us to get in it, we'll come up with something. But so far we kind of just draped everything off to the side. We used these pads here to protect the bumper from getting scratched. That way you can do that. And yes, our approved shoe here this is Crocs only land, huh?
That's right.
So David's getting the upper radiator hose out, and then he's gonna get the lower radiator hose out so we can get this radiator out. He already got the fan off, and we'll just keep plugging away. So here are our tappet holders, 1/2-inch dowel rod from your local hardware store. You cut a nice little X into them, about 3/4 to 7/8 of an inch deep. And you guys notice some of these are shorter. You're gonna wanna use the shorter ones under the cowl there. That way they can get in there. And I'll show you guys kind of how these work, but really simple. And then you put a nice little bevel on them. I normally use a sander, but with the limited tools that we have, because I forgot my keys in Utah, I chucked these up in a drill and spun them on sandpaper to get the bevel. And this is kind of what they look like. Pretty easy to make. So here we are. This is the front end. And looking at it, we'll probably just have to jack the engine up a little bit. Not too bad. And you just kind of lay out some nice microfibers and can't scratch it. And this is what we're dealing with. Obviously, you guys know the cam's gonna be right back there. The only thing we gotta do now is take the top end apart so we can get the rocker arms off, get the push rods out so we can put our little push rod holder 9000s in there and pop this sucker out. All right, so some time has passed. You guys have seen us take front ends or top ends apart. So we got all of our rockers, our bridges, and our push rods out. Now we are gonna put the wooden dowels in. Hand me 2 long ones. Dude, shout out to Greg A. Look at this man out over here.
Yeah.
Putting in work. Hey, don't get dirty now.
I use these as old clothes.
So you're gonna fish these little guys in here and you just pound them in. Now listen, guys, you hear that? You got good control on the tappet. Now these are a little long. My memory did not serve me well. However, on the back I did make them a little shorter. So hand me one of the shorties, like the short ones. There's a couple that are a few inches apart, not unlike me and you.
Yeah, master.
So these shorties go on the back, and there's these plugs under here, even on the 4th gen, even on my 5th gen, they're back there. And we'll get these put in, but you gotta make these ones much shorter. So we're gonna go ahead and get this all put in. I'll kind of show you guys the finished product. It's kind of hard to film and do this. One of the last steps you gotta do is David's removing the 3 13mm nuts on the back side of the CP3. And then we can push the CP3 just back a little bit. We'll probably have to loosen the main rail line because that's a hard line, but everything else has enough to just kind of slide backwards. And then power steering pump's kind of off to the side already. And that crank position sensor plug harness there has got to come out. And then the cam one, generally what I'll do is I'll actually pull the case out a little bit, and then I can actually get my hands in there to get that one out. And on this 4th gen, if you guys look here at the cam center line, it is directly in line with this cross member here. Not a big deal. We got enough flex in here. We'll just jack the engine up, loosen the mounts, and be able to slide the cam out that way. So the idea with these is they go in and expand. So what you do is you drop this one in. These are a little long, but you know, I was feeling a little flare. So you'll feel it kind of bite in a little bit, and then you just kind of tap it in, and it goes in, I'd say 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch. Just like that. And once you're done there, you guys can see the shorter ones. So that one's almost at TDC. And then like that. There you go. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna hold these up like this and then pinch them together. And basically the concept is the wood gets bound up on the casting of the head there, and then they can't fall down. If you do it right, that is. So we got all of our dowels in. David got the CP3 all loose. Just like that. And then all we got left now is jack up the engine. That's one of the reasons why I always put the dowels in first when there's cross members in the way. With the cross member in the way, if you jack it up and then try to put your dowels in there, you really start to limit how much room you can go up. Looks like we need about 3 inches. That's definitely what she said to get this out. You ready, David?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
This is Josh's daddy.
So now we're gonna go ahead and pump her up. Go ahead, David. I bet you. Oh, we're close. Keep her going. Oh yeah, almost there. That intercooler pipe's just hanging out. Keep her going a little bit more. I think that's enough slices. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. So now that we got all that done, we're gonna go ahead, zip tie these. I'm gonna be honest, I would not use Harbor Freight zip ties for a job this critical, but I'm assuming that's all David's got. So we got her cranked up, ready to go. We undid the transmission mounts as well. That way you're not binding that up. So now we got our dowels. You guys can see the zip tie pinches them together. And now got the engine high enough where we can pull the cam. One last thing that I do personally is I grab a piece of PVC pipe. You're gonna want it about 40 inches long, and that's gonna allow you to pull the cam, quickly slide that PVC in there in case one of these Harbor Freight zip ties snaps, or else you'll be fishing for a tappet in that oil pan. We got our PVC. David's gonna pick up the camera here.
Heavenly Father,
Oh, dude, we just got her.
we come to you today asking for prayers. Please be with us in this cam.
All right, and there you go. She's out. Now you take your PVC. I believe this is 1 1/4 schedule 40. I did wipe it down prior, so you guys can all calm down. One thing you learn about YouTube, David, there's a lot of professional mechanics out there.
We're professional mechanics.
Legend has it. And then on a 12 valve, 24 valve, do not beat this thing in there too hard, because what will happen, you'll knock that freeze plug out. On a common rail, because they're superior, you can get away with that. Might have been a little too long on that one, Dave? Oh well, you can get it out. So there you go. Now we just undo these bolts, pull that front case off, ready to go. The only thing to remember is that cam sensor is still plugged in. Again, I do that once we kind of pull this off a little bit. That way it's easier to get to. Okay, so now that we got this out, you guys see here the cam, we just unplugged that real quick. Plenty of room there. So we had this is leaking. This is where the AC mounts to the block here. You guys, when you're trying to diagnose these oil leaks, lay the gasket back how it was. If you guys see here, this gasket takes a really hard turn in here. It almost kind of looks like a defect, or maybe it got pinched. And you guys if you look, see how the gasket's all torn up? That tells me this probably wasn't laying straight when they assembled it the first time, and they cut through the gasket. That pushed this in, and it was inevitable. This was gonna leak. So we'll get this customer new gasket. We'll use Right Stuff on the bottom, about double layer, put some on the oil pan, clean it up, and then we'll put a thin bead of Right Stuff, gasket, thin bead of Right Stuff, and get this one put back together. But that's kind of a good way to diagnose it. Very easy. You guys saw there where whoever assembled this one just kind of full sent that bolt. We'll get this cleaned up. And as far as prep, just a razor blade, some brake clean on both surfaces. That way you're good to go. And we'll get this put back on. Okay, so we got this back on. You guys see here, we got really good silicone crush even in this corner here. That's kind of what you want to see. We got our cam plugged back in, crank plugged back in. And then just like when we assemble the engine, I got all these started to make sure that the gasket wasn't gonna have the same issue. And then you guys look in this crack here. You guys can see, I can see the block. So I know the gasket's fully seated all the way around. I'm gonna let this set up for about 15 minutes. From there, we're gonna go ahead and torque all of these bolts, the 5 inside ones with red Loctite, these outer ones just to spec, and then I'll do the bottom ones with red Loctite. Again, this is a pretty stock truck, but I'd hate to have this case come loose and have a CP3 flopping around, stuff like that. So I red Loctite the inner 5, the lower 2, and then we'll also red Loctite the cam thrust plate as well. And these torque to 24 foot-pounds. All of these, I believe it's like 15 or 18 foot-pounds, and I know the exterior cover, I believe, is 12 foot-pounds. So that's what we're gonna do. Just kind of let it set up. You guys see the oil pan bolts are already started. I do all that so we don't have any cross threading, anything like that. Got our oh crap safety guard in, but if you look down the tunnel here, I can see none of the tappets have fallen. It's probably hard or impossible for you guys to tell, but just take my word, all the tappets are still secured up there. Okay, now from here, we got the interior bolts torqued down. These ones I just have kind of snug. Again, that's just keeping good pressure on the gasket. Now we're gonna go ahead and torque the oil pan bolts down there. Those are 15 foot-pounds. And then from there, we'll go ahead and get this cam put back in. You guys can see our 00 and our 0 right there. And then you want to spin this little guy. You want him to at least be close to where he's going to go, like so. And then I just kind of, you're just on that last little lip. Zero, double line. Make sure this guy's coming in the right spot. Boom. Okay, and brush guards back on. All of our trim, everything else. Before we put coolant in it, we're just gonna go ahead and fire it up, make sure we don't have any issues, so we don't have to drain the coolant twice. David's squeegeeing water because it's been snowing. And don't worry guys, we will do a full build breakdown. We're gonna bring David's beautiful electric blue G56 original truck to the channel. This has got one of those new Performance Auto deck plates. Steve over there did our deck plate block. I gotta go pick it up so we can start putting that together for the 05. And then we also have Seth's truck. This is a 3rd gen, the 6.7 in it. This is a 6.4, right?
Yeah, it's like down.
6.4, another new Performance Auto truck. This one's getting David's old compounds. Gonna be working on that here shortly. I'll make sure I get that on video. And yeah, you're gonna get to see David, Seth, maybe Dusty. For those of you guys that don't know Dusty, Dusty's quite a free spirit. He's got a white 3rd gen quad cab. And we'll get you build breakdowns on everything. And there's David's pile that we were fighting doors with all the time. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. You ready? Like normal guys, we're going to go ahead and take her for a quick spin, put a little heat in the oil, make sure we get the thermostat open, top off all the coolant, make sure we have no leaks, you know, the basic stuff. Obviously with this being a customer's truck and not one of my own or David's or somebody we know, you know, we're going to treat it very gently. It's a nice truck and we want to keep it that way. And with all the freaking deer and everything running back here, I really don't want to test out that cattle guard that he's got on the front here. So it's a 68 RFE trans. Pretty sure this is just 2500, but it's going through all the gears nice. And mainly we just want to get that oil temp a little warm. Right now it's sitting at 159. Get the coolant up to temp and just make sure we have no issues. I'll have to take you guys through some of this drive when it's light outside. It is absolutely breathtaking back here. I mean, it's only a couple days in, so it's always easy to look at something and be like, oh my god, it's so much better, grass is greener, yada yada. But literally the grass is greener here. And I love this area of Virginia. I've been here before, and I'm just really excited to see what the future holds. And just really cool to open up a shop with a good friend and just know that we're both in it to put food on the table for our families and treat our customers right. So if you guys need anything, like I said, this was a front timing case leak between the block and the case. Like, we're not just a performance shop. We're happy to do performance work, but if you're a regular daily driver, tow rig, family hauler, cattle dryer, whatever you got, we're more than happy to work on it. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, don't matter. We'll get it done for you, and we'll get it done right the first time. All right, guys, so we got this one done. We were trying to get it done before my flight back to Utah to pick up my last round of stuff until my family moves out here. So we got this one done. I apologize it wasn't in depth as I normally do, but we gave you guys a little tidbits there on how to make the tools and stuff. And you guys all got to meet, you know, the real David over here. What do you call yourself? Daddy?
Yeah, daddy.
You're my daddy? Can you, hey, real quick, no hate towards Sarah. Can you believe this? This is David's 4th place All Truck Challenge trophy. It's like 2 feet tall, and I got this little piston. And I got 1st place. This is some bull crap. But, nah. No leaks. Got the coolant topped off. Runs and drives. Hopefully we'll get a nice 5-star review. And, yeah, look at that animal. What is this horse we got here?
He's scared of the floor.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Because he probably wiped out, huh? That's Hazley. He's a 160-pound domesticated horse, pretty much. But, yep, all done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the new content in the new location. I've seen a couple of guys giving us a little bit of crap for always changing the film. This should be where most of the shenanigans takes place, either here or at a local tracker event. Drop that comment down below. Give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more shenanigans. Again, guys, we're going to keep the channel the way it is, but this was brought to you by Wide Open Throttle Motorsports here in Abingdon, VA, Southwest Virginia. Until the next one, I'll see you.